fascinating to me is that he wanted to jump right back in there and do it again, and that Nate wanted to, or that Conor wanted to just run it back. And I was like, wow, that's interesting.
It seems weird that he gets to do that. Not so much that he wants to, but it just seems weird that they were like even when Dana White was talking about it, and he was like, look, man, we tried to convince him to go down to 145, and he was like, Nate's the old. I was like, wait, he's the matchmaker now? He just gets to go.
But wouldn't you let him if you want to make a ton of money,
look,
right?
man, I believe in the market.
Yes.
And that guy's what people want to see. He can do what he can do whatever he wants to do.
But
and Nate's going to get a big payday off it.
But it's not just that. The Emperor's been stripped down, okay? So now he's exposed. So now someone's beating him. So here's the thing. What do you do now? You want to make money? Okay, because if you want to make money, you make the biggest fight you can right now while he's been exposed. And the biggest fight for sure is, and when I say exposed, I don't mean he's not talented. I mean exposed meaning he's a human and he can lose. And that happens with every fighter. They lose, and once they lose, people go, oh, you can be beat. You know, we saw it with Anderson Silva. You saw it with Mike Tyson. After Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas, it was a different world. Everybody was like, oh, he's human. So I say exposed, not in a disrespectful way, but got exposed. He lost. He got choked out. He got beaten up on the ground, and then he got choked out quick. So this is not an invulnerable, perfect fighter who's unbelievably durable,
right,
who can take punishment like no man. There's a lot of those guys in the UFC. There's champions like that in the UFC that are like Robbie Lawler, unbelievably durable. You can't put him away. It's fucking hard to put that guy away. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a guy who got dinged up, shot for a shitty, wide-open takedown, got taken down, got demolished on the ground, and got choked unconscious quickly afterwards. So, all right, what do you do? Could that happen with Dos Anjos? Fuck yeah, it could. Dos Anjos could do that too. It's possible. I mean, Conor might knock him out. You never know. Conor does have that punch. But you got to put him in against Nate again because that's the big money rematch. And if this guy turns out to be a guy who's going to win some and lose some, and the beginning of his career, this unbeatable, wild Celtic warrior character,
right?
That's all gone.
But he's champ. He's still got a belt at 145.
Yeah.
So it's almost kind of a weird position
for now. But I mean, here's my question: when I say for now, can he really keep making that weight? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I've wondered about that too. I've had some people have argued with me saying like, no, he can make the weight because he was what was he 169 against Nate? Yeah. So they're saying he basically that's what he starts at, and he can just cut down from there. That's a lot. But look what he looked like at the weigh-in. Yeah. So maybe he can.
I mean, he definitely can do it. It's physically possible.
I was so looking forward to the press conference though, just because I can't. You know, you've got this guy in Conor who's like the ultimate shit talker, and then you've got Nate who, I mean, the dynamic at the first press conference was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And at that moment when he was just like kind of talking circles around Nate, and Nate just broke and he goes, how about this? Fuck you, fuck your belt, fuck this press conference. Like Nate just went gangster on him.
Yeah.
But now, like, how can Conor? I was so interested. Like, how can he show up and talk shit like that?
Yeah.
When Nate's got the perfect rebuttal to anything he has to say. Well, I beat you on 10 days.
Conor's been saying all kinds of crazy stuff. Like the first 8 minutes were easy. Yeah, what?
Yeah, but here's the difference between the first 8 minutes and the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 3 were a lot worse.
Yeah, they were awful. Like, you got fucked up, man. You got to just accept that. But that's part of his thing, is that he has to like look at things in the most positive light possible, and man, I don't know. I think stylistically it's a troublesome fight for him because Nate is a very clever boxer and his ground game is a world away from where Conor is right now. And I've seen Nate roll with guys. He's a fucking legit, very high level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under a very respected camp. His cardio is outstanding. His boxing's nasty. So where's Conor shining?
The only way I think, I mean, I guess there's, you know, it's really hard to like fight a Diaz brother and beat them. You know, usually when people beat them, it's kind of like they really stick to a strategy. You got to kind of take them down and avoid submissions or like leg kick and circle a whole
Dos
bunch.
Anjos beat him up in that way. But you know what? There's also different.
He didn't show up.
Well, there's also, you know, different camps. You know, you're coming in, who knows what kind of fucking injuries you're dealing with. You know, you see a guy like Nate come in and look really kind of lackadaisical against Rafael Dos Anjos, then you see him come back and look shredded against Michael Johnson and look sensational. So you go, okay, that's what he's capable of when he's on and focused. You got to be ready for that guy.
And I think that's the best he's ever looked, was that Michael Johnson fight.
Yeah, you can't think that the guy who lost to Dos Anjos is showing up. You got to think that the guy that came out and swarmed Cowboy in the first round is coming. Like that guy's a clever fucking boxer. Yeah. So where does Conor shine? Knockout power. That's where he shines. Like, Conor can dead dudes. He can, but he couldn't do it. Yeah,
they're tough to hit. They have great head movement and great chins, and they roll with punches.
Well, the only guy to ever stop Nate was Josh Thompson, and Josh did it with a brutal head kick. And Josh Thompson, to this day, I say, is one of the most underrated guys. The stars did not align for him, but he could have easily been a UFC champion.
He was champ in Strikeforce, right?
Yeah, and with Gilbert, and him and Gilbert went back and forth. Josh Thompson's a world-class fighter, so when Josh Thompson head kicked him, it's like Josh could do that to anybody in that division. If he catches you, you're fucked. He's older now, and he's just... I think he's a guy that, like I said, the stars didn't perfectly align for him. But skill-wise and technique-wise, he's a fucking world-class fighter. So when he knocked out Nate Diaz, it's not necessarily an indication that Nate Diaz is done. Because just, that's how good Josh Thompson is.
Yeah.
And at the time. And then so Nate rebounds from that. And I think you look at the losses, like the Dos Anjos fight, and you look at the Josh Thompson fight, and you go, how good is he? I could beat that guy. But then you look at the Michael Johnson fight, and you go, ooh, that guy's fucking dangerous.
Jim Miller, Cerrone.
Exactly.
A lot of these fights where he was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think... it's one of those things where styles make fights, and Conor really got in people's heads by talking shit. And I felt like going in, I was like, I don't think you're going to get in Nate's head by talking shit. He's not that guy.
Yeah. How about this? My crew will fuck up your whole crew.
That's the most gangster thing you could say, by the way. That's the most gangster thing, because he's literally just going, we'll fucking jump you, dude. We're not playing around here.
Yeah.
And all those guys, even the guys who seem like kind of nice guys in his team, like Jake Shields, you feel like he'll fucking jump you. Those guys are...
he's a vegetarian, and he'll kick your ass.